The undercard for Fury Wilder is finally announced. How does it stack up? Stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers. Leave a comment below. Welcome to another edition of the Hot Stove. Big news breaking. Finally, the undercard for Wilder Fury on December 1st at the Staples Center in Los Angeles is announced. And it's not great, to tell you the truth. However, it's not terrible either, I guess. It will feature Jarrett Swift Hurd and Louis King Kong Ortiz. Not against each other, obviously. That'd be weird. I want to get into something. Let's start with Jarrett Hurd. I've come a long way on Hurd from thinking he was a one-dimensional slugger who would lose to Tony Harrison to thinking he's actually the real deal. Not a perfect fighter by any means. Not a perfect fighter at all. But a real deal that would run the table at 154 and beat Canelo at 160. That's how highly I think of Jarrett Swift Hurd now. He had reconstructive surgery on his shoulder. Yes. He fought in April. He fought in April when he was in a brutal war. Brutal warfare with Arislan de Lara in the fight of the year so far. Unified the WBA and IBF strap. In his first two defenses since winning his title, he fought Trout, who beat Miguel Cotto at 54. And then he fought Arislan de Lara, a future Hall of Famer who was the best guy at 154. And he rallied late and scored a 12th round knockdown to eke out a tight split decision. And he's coming back before the year's end. Look, what else do you want from the guy? So he had the fight of the year, then had reconstructive surgery on his shoulder, and he's coming back within the same calendar year, 7 or 8 months later, let's call it. I understand he's fighting a dude named Jason Welburn on the undercard. It's his comeback fight. A test out the shoulder fight. A get right fight. A tune-up fight. And I'm hearing a ton of hate. And this makes no sense. Look, Hurd is a warrior. He made his first two defenses. He didn't take a give me. He took on Austin Trout, a former champ who beat Miguel Cotto. And then he fought Lara. Okay? Those were his first two defenses he made in less than a year after winning the world title at 154. There's nothing not to like about Jarrett Hurd. I mean, you guys can hate, but I understand he's fighting a guy that no one really wants to see him fight, okay? He's fighting a guy who's mostly unknown, Jason Welburn. He does have 2 wins over Tommy Langford. He's a B- type of guy. I get it. Obviously not a great fighter, right? But what do you want from him? Yes, Welburn lost to a guy. Jason Welburn, if you guys don't know, I'm sure a lot of you do, lost to a guy that has literally 100 losses. Literally 100 losses. I think it's over 100 now. But who cares? It's a comeback fight. It's a tune-up fight. Think about this. Keep this in your mind. Compare this to Keith Thurman. So Jarrett Swift Hurd had reconstructive surgery on his shoulder and will be back in less than 8 months. But y'all still defend Keefy Poo. Let's get into Keefy Poo. Keith Thurman had a microscopic outpatient procedure, meaning he was not held overnight like Hurd was. There was no monitoring the surgery. It's not even a surgery, it's a procedure afterwards on his elbow. Okay? So one guy, Hurd, had reconstructive surgery on his shoulder. The other guy had a microscopic procedure in which they removed loose fragments from his elbow. Okay? According to Keith Thurman, according to the American Association of Orthopedic Surgeons, the AAOS, American Association of Orthopedic Surgeons, the procedure that Keith Thurman has a recovery time of a couple of weeks, but full range of motion could be back the next day. And he's been out for 2 years. So one guy has reconstructive surgery of his shoulder, a serious surgery, and he's back by the end of the year. And y'all want to hate on him. The other guy, Keefy Poo, once upon a time, no time a year, Thurman, had an outpatient procedure, which the recovery time is 2 weeks, and he's been out 2 years. And your guys are still saying, "Oh, I want to see Keith fight Terrence Crawford. I want to see Keith fight Porter. I want to see Keith fight Errol Spence." Come on. I mean, Keith Thurman is not an active fighter. I don't care that WBA hasn't stripped him yet. It's reached the point of absurdity that they haven't stripped him yet. He hasn't fought in almost 2 years. And he's never really, I mean, look, who did Keith Thurman even beat to win a WBA title? He's their super champion, but who did he beat to win that title? Nobody. He was elevated to that title when Floyd Mayweather retired. You guys remember that? He never beat anybody. And he's saying Terrence Crawford isn't hardly a champion. Dude, you're hardly a champion. Keith Thurman, you gave up your WBC belt because they told you that you had to fight Garcia and Porter. And you're like, oh, no, I ain't doing all that. Then, the only belt you have left is the WBA, which you didn't even win. You're a paper champion for the WBA. Let's be real. You're hardly a champion. And you don't fight. You haven't fought in 2 years. But you guys still want to defend Keith Thurman. It doesn't make any sense. Keith Thurman is an irrelevant, inactive fighter. If he'd like to come back, he needs to start back and work his way up into a world title shot. Because he's done nothing, literally nothing, in almost 2 years to call himself a champion. And he's backed out of every possible fight. Look, last year, over a year ago, because this is November 1st, last October, he said he was going to be back in January of this year. In January of 2018. And he was going to fight 3 times. January became late February or March. Late February, March became April 14th at the Barclays against Jesse Vargas. Confirmed by Dan Rafael of ESPN and Jesse Vargas. That became May 5th at the Barclays against an unnamed opponent. But Keith Thurman said, not Jesse, not any of the top 10 welterweights. Then he backed out of that and said he hurt his hand. He had a bruised bone on his hand, which doesn't require surgery, but it does take about 2 to 3 months to heal on its own. There's nothing you can do with it. You just have to let it heal. Well, that would put us at what if that happened in March? April, May, June, the latest. This is November. He could have fought twice since then. Seriously. Want to take it to a fight, take it in September, and fight again at the end of the year. But he didn't want to do that. Right? So this is ridiculous. Keith Thurman literally has been out of the ring for 2 years for a surgery that takes 2 weeks to recover from. I'm not making this up. You guys don't believe me? Go look up loose bone fragment removal. Loose bodies. That's the surgery that Keith Thurman had. You can go look that up. Go look up what the American Association of Orthopedic Surgeons says the recovery process for such an injury is. And he had the surgery done at the Hospital for Special Surgeries in Manhattan, which is a collection of the greatest orthopedic surgeons in the world, right? Every professional athlete has his surgery done either there or Dr. James Van in Atlanta. It's one of those 2 places. That's where he had his surgery done. It's not like he went to some hack who messed up the surgery. He went to the best orthopedic surgeons in the world to have it done. So they didn't mess up a routine surgery. It's ridiculous the thing that they did. Keith Thurman doesn't want to fight. He said he wasn't going to fight Jesse. Then he wasn't going to fight Cesar Lopez. He's just not going to fight anyone. Did you see him back in September? And that's almost 2 months ago at the Porter Garcia fight. Guy looked like he was 200 pounds. Guy hadn't been in a gym. He releases a YouTube video of him hitting pads. I think that video is old. I don't think he's been in a gym. Look at him. He doesn't look. Does he look like a welterweight to you? You guys were making fun of Tank for being fat. Did you see how fat Keith Thurman was? Come on now. Let's get real. Let's get real. So, Jarrett Hurd is coming back against taking a legitimate tune-up fight, right? That's what it is. And you guys are hating on him. There's absolutely nothing to dislike about Jarrett Hurd. But then you'll defend Keith Thurman, which is astonishing. The WBA needs to strip him. I'm going to make a full video on this, but, this has gotten absurd now. The other fight on the undercard, Louis King Kong Ortiz, he'll be fighting, and I guess they want to showcase Ortiz, and I like Ortiz, so this is not a knock on Louis Ortiz. I think he's a good, solid fighter, excellent skills, throws nice combinations, has a good power. I like the Cuban, I really do. But he's boring. If you're trying to make a fight between King Kong and the winner of Wilder and Fury, this isn't going to help, okay? Because he's not going to look exciting, and I think Ortiz is good. But, look, he's fighting Travis Kaufman, who lost to Amir Mansour. Ortiz will certainly pick up the win. He'll probably get a knockout. I'm guessing he'll get a knockout around round 5. but it will do nothing to help build a fight because no one cares about Travis Crawford. No one even knows who he is unless you're a hardcore. Look, Ortiz may, again, to the trained eye, Luis Ortiz will look good. To say he did a lot of things well. To the casual fan, the one you're going to want to sell this to, they're just not going to enjoy watching Luis Ortiz fight. He'll get the knockout, but nothing will happen before that. You know what I'm saying? He'll outbox him, and then he'll get a knockout, I say, about the 5th round. He has no natural fan base. Ortiz does. You know, he's a Cuban fighter. He's not a natural ethnic background like a Puerto Rican or an Irish fighter or obviously a Mexican fighter would have. He's from Miami, not a huge fight city. I mean, there's good fighters from Miami, but they don't usually have huge followings. Where he fights out of now is Miami, obviously. Like Rigondeaux fights out of Miami, right? And he's a great fighter. Did he ever have a big fan base? No. I mean, it's not a big fight city. He's not a natural. He's not even. He's not a native to that city. He's a native of Cuba, and there's not a ton of Cubans in this country like there are Irish or Mexicans or Puerto Ricans. So it's just he doesn't have a natural fan base, is what I'm saying. And he's rapidly approaching 40. I know a lot of guys. I'm going to go with what he's listed at. He's listed at he'll be 39. A lot of people are going to say he's 42, he's 48, he's however old. I don't know. He's listed at he'll be almost 39, and that's what I'm going to go with. Again, I think they're trying to make Ortiz fight the winner of this fight, the Wilder Fury fight. I think that's their goal is to have Ortiz fight the winner, and I think they think that's going to be Wilder. So you'll get a rematch of Wilder versus Ortiz. And the first fight was a good one. It really was good, but I mean, we already know how that fight's going to end. And a Fury Ortiz fight, if Fury did win, that fight would have no appeal. So you have a fight Wilder Ortiz, which you know how it's going to end. Ortiz couldn't get on the inside. He'll be a year older if they were to fight again. So he'll just get knocked out quicker. He could. Look, Ortiz fought as well as he could fight. And he fought well against Wilder, but it wasn't good enough. If Ortiz could have got on the inside, it would have been a different fight. But he can't get on the inside of Wilder. So he loses. And he probably loses quicker this time. So we'll see how it goes. But let me know what you think of the undercard. Let me know what you think of Jarrett Hurd. If he's getting some hypocritical treatment here in regards to the way that Keith Thurman is treated. But leave your thoughts, comments below. Let me know what you think. For another edition of The Hot Stove, this is 3D Boxing signing off, saying thank you and God bless.
Enjoy 3D Boxing vlog videos? Show us some love by clicking the like button. Don't miss a tweet, post, story, or video. 3dboxingvlog.com is also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the subscribe button now to stay inside the ring.